Have you ever cooked eggplant and noticed that it soaks up too much oil, turns mushy, or cooks unevenly? Many people think frozen eggplant might be the reason, but the truth is actually the opposite. It can make cooking easier and the eggplant taste even better. Today I'm going to show you how to freeze eggplant for later, along with a few simple tips to help it cook faster, absorb seasoning better, and make everyday meals more convenient. This morning my neighbor stopped by with a basket of fresh eggplants she had just picked from her garden. They looked beautiful, but there were too many for me to finish before they started getting soft. So I'm going to prep them and freeze them to use little by little so nothing goes to waste. First, gently rinse the eggplants under running water to remove any dirt from the skin, then dry them thoroughly with paper towels. This step is very important because if there is any moisture left on the surface, the eggplants can easily develop ice crystals in the freezer. Now we can start freezing the eggplants. But I'm not going to prepare all of them the same way. I'll leave some whole and I'll prep the rest in advance so they'll be quicker and more convenient to cook later. For the eggplants I'm keeping whole. I'll place each one in a large zip-top bag, arranging them gently so they don't get bruised. Then I'll press out as much air as possible, seal the bag tightly, and place it straight into the freezer. This is very convenient when you don't have time to prep them right away, and it also helps keep them from becoming soft, wilted, or spoiled before you get a chance to use them. To make cooking faster and more convenient later, you can also cut the eggplant before freezing it. I really like this method for busy days because you can simply take it out and use it right away. For this batch, I'm going to cut the eggplant into sections first. Oh no! As soon as I cut into the first eggplant, I noticed that the inside had already gone bad, probably because it had been damaged by insects earlier. Luckily, I was right as soon as I cut it open, so just going to throw this one away and not worry about it. Now let's move on to another one. Take a look at this next eggplant. The inside is lighter, firmer, and looks so much better. This cut is perfect for making spaghetti with eggplant and ground meat sauce. It tastes absolutely delicious and everyone in my family loves it. I'll definitely share that recipe at the end of the video, so don't go anywhere. Once you're done cutting, spread the pieces out on a large baking sheet lined with parchment paper, making sure they're arranged evenly so they don't stick together. Because the cut surface of eggplant can darken, easily sprinkle a little salt over the pieces and let them sit for about 10 minutes. Once they release some moisture, gently pat them dry with paper towels before placing them in the freezer. Another way is to cut the eggplant into smaller pieces for stir fries. This helps them cook faster because the inside has already softened and the seasonings can soak into the flesh more easily. So stir fries, braised dishes, sauces, or stews can become more flavorful in less time. Then spread the pieces evenly on a tray and sprinkle a little salt over them as well. Finally, cut the eggplant into round slices for pan searing or roasting. After cutting the eggplant, arrange the slices in a single layer so they do not stick together, and don't forget to sprinkle a little salt over the top. Now place everything in the freezer for about 6 to 8 hours until completely frozen. You can also leave them overnight to save time. Once the eggplant is frozen, the pieces will become firm and solid. Sort them by the way they were cut and place each type into a separate zip-top bag. This will make it much easier to take out the eggplant when you need it. Everything has been frozen and stored ready to use. When you want to cook, Simply take out the amount you need instead of removing all of it. One convenient thing about freezing eggplant is that you can cook it straight from the freezer without having to thaw it completely first. Now I'm going to use this frozen eggplant to make the spaghetti with tomato and ground meat sauce that I mentioned earlier. It's very easy to make, but the flavor is even better than you might expect. Add a little oil to a hot pan, then add the chopped onion and sauté until it becomes soft and fragrant. After that, add 1 portion of ground meat and stir until the meat is fully cooked. At this point, take the eggplant straight from the freezer and add it directly to the pan. There's no need to thaw it first. I really like this because it saves time, and I also find that frozen eggplant absorbs less oil while cooking. The eggplant still turns out soft and delicious without making the dish feel too greasy. Give everything a few gentle stirs. Then add about 100 grams of tomato sauce. Two tablespoons of ketchup, a little salt, and some black pepper. Cover the pan. Keep the heat at medium and cook for about 5 to 6 minutes until the eggplant is soft and has absorbed the sauce. While that's cooking, I'll boil the pasta. Do you usually break your spaghetti in half before boiling it, as I do? It cooks a little faster, is easier to cook evenly, and absorbs the sauce better too. Once everything is cooked, place the pasta on a plate and spoon the hot sauce over the top. If you like a richer flavor, sprinkle a little grated cheese on top while the sauce is still hot, so the cheese melts slightly. Look at this. The sauce is just thick enough to coat the pasta nicely, while the eggplant is soft, mildly sweet, and soaked with the tomato and ground meat sauce. It's especially delicious while it's still warm and makes a wonderful, simple family dinner. If you have any sauce left over, let it cool. Transfer it to an airtight container and store it in the refrigerator for about 2 to 3 days, or freeze it to use within 7 to 10 days. And that is how I usually freeze and prepare eggplant for everyday meals. With the right preparation, eggplant can be stored longer, cook faster, absorb seasonings better, and no longer soak up as much oil as before. I hope today's tip is helpful to you. Remember to subscribe and share today's video with anyone who may need it. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.